Welcome everybody to day 3 of the Feeding Recovery Protein Challenge. We are so happy to have a community here, and excited to share some things about cravings tonight with you. And all of us have cravings, so I think we'll all enjoy this as well tonight. We're also going to talk a little bit about the biochemical parts of cravings with neurotransmitters. But before we begin that, and also some non-food tactics that Amy will be sharing later. So we're really looking forward to tonight. So I'd like to invite you, we're going to start with a breath. This is one of my favorite breaths that I like to share with students and clients and do myself. If you're driving, keep your eyes open. You can still do the breath, but it works much better to close your eyes. So I'd like to invite you, and I know some of you are cooking and doing work and you may not get to do this. It's a short breath. It's called the Sacred G breath, and I will put it out. I have a short handout on it. I'll make sure you all get it tomorrow at some point. We'll put it in our files. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and just breathe naturally in through your nose and out through your nose just a couple times, so we can just come into a more relaxed state as we do get into maybe some difficult things around craving. So just allow yourself to come into the relaxed state, and our breath is the first thing that can do that for us. So inhale and exhale through the nose just a few times, and then I'm going to take you through a breath pattern. And what I love about this breath, and I will be closing my eyes too, just so I can focus more on this, is that it allows you to come out of the beta thinking state, float down into alpha and into theta. When we get into delta, that's when we're actually sleeping. So this is also a good breath to do before a project, before you're going to sleep. It allows you, again, to get out of the beta state and allows the brain to slow down a little bit and move into that parasympathetic nervous system, which is that more relaxed, ease, digest state. Okay. So keep breathing in and out through the nose. And then I'm just going to explain it, and then we'll do it together 3 times. Okay. Keep breathing, and I'm going to explain it first. You're going to inhale through the mouth and exhale mouth. Then you'll inhale mouth, exhale nose, closing your mouth. And I'll remind you, inhale nose, exhale nose, and then inhale nose, exhale mouth. Okay. And we'll do that. It's a 4-part breath. We'll do it 3 times. So let's inhale together through the nose and exhale nose, and do that again. Inhale nose, exhale nose. Open your mouth, inhale mouth, exhale mouth. Inhale mouth, exhale nose, close your mouth. Inhale nose, exhale nose. Inhale nose, exhale mouth. Round 2, inhale mouth, exhale mouth. Inhale mouth, exhale nose, close your mouth. Inhale nose, exhale nose. Inhale nose, exhale mouth. Last round, inhale mouth, exhale mouth. Inhale mouth, exhale nose. Inhale nose, exhale nose. Inhale nose, exhale mouth. Just take a few moments, keep your eyes closed, and check in with how you feel. You may feel nothing. You may feel more relaxed. You may actually feel more energized. You may feel more content. Just allow yourself to feel the power of the breath and how we can just bring our attention to our breath and shift our energy and our mood. So, and when you feel ready, you can open your eyes, and we can pull up the slides, Amy. I wanted to share about that breath too, and I will send out the handout. It's pretty easy, but it's nice to kind of follow it. I I I cooked at a yoga retreat many years ago, and I did a talk. I feel happier and more content. Oh, yay, Christina. Thank you for that. I did this breath at a yoga retreat that I cooked at. And after, at the end of the retreat, someone said, I just want to thank Patty for that naturally high breath, that natural high breath. And I never thought about it that way, of course, but honestly, what it's doing is it's allowing your endorphins, which is our blissful molecules. We're going to talk a little bit about those tonight, to be engaged and to be felt. So that's the beauty of the breath. And when you add in the nutrition piece and the therapy and the other pieces that we've talked about, and then, you know, the brain feels good and life gets a little bit better. And that's what we're all about here doing tonight. So welcome again to tonight's talk. And we're going to talk about, do you want to go back to that first slide, Amy? Or, oh, am I on charge?
Can
Look
be
at me,
in
I'm so
charge.
relaxed.
I'm sorry if I moved it. I found it
That's all right.
energizing. That's fun.
I've got it. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about cravings and neurotransmitters and other support systems for urges and cravings. Feeling more focused. Okay, cool. Let me see if I can get this to go. Sorry here. Hold on. Maybe I have to put my more energized here. Oh, cool. Okay, there we go. Nice. Part of this feeding recovery challenge and these offerings we're sharing with all of you and sharing together is to learn some tools. We sharing tools that have worked for us, and you also sharing tools that have worked for you. So thank you for your feedback. So we're going to talk a little bit about the biochemical factors driving cravings and addiction. And this is the main part of what we're talking about, the starving brain, as we talked about in that very first day with Christina's PowerPoint on the starving brain and feeding recovery. This is the area that, you know, when the brain is starving, that can lead to a craving, right? So the SAD diet, and we know that the standard American diet, and we're going to talk a lot more about that tomorrow. So please be sure to join us tomorrow night as we talk about real food and non-real food. So, and deficiency in important nutrients, protein, essential fats, and low blood sugar. This is one of the factors that can drive a craving and an urge and then a continued addiction. So that's our main focus. Neurotransmitter depletion. So the neurotransmitters we're going to talk a little bit about tonight too, and mood disorders. So how our neurotransmitters, when they are depleted, create mood disorders and cravings. And neurotransmitters are fed through food. Allergies, oftentimes an allergy with foods or substances can actually create a craving of something. Even if you're allergic to it, you might actually want that more. So looking at allergies and making sure we check that out if we need to. So allergies are an important one. Toxicity, we're going to talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. Heavy metals, toxic chemicals, food additives, and these biotoxins and infections can actually lower our neurotransmitters and then create that craving. So these are all factors that can affect it. And I think it's really important. I know that when I share these with clients, they just are like, oh, it's not my willpower. Oh my goodness, you know, wow. It could be, you know, a heavy metal, or it could be, you know, I'm not getting any protein, as we're talking about in this challenge. The last one on this slide is genetics, and that's inherited differences in biochemistry, which can contribute to everything above. And that's important too, and especially for, you know, we talk about at the Academy, 80% generally of folks will feel better when they change their diet and they add good food in and they get therapy, and they might, you know, be introduced to some amino acids and other nutrients they need. But there may be that 20%, and that can vary a little bit, that need to have some more testing done and need to look into their genetic profile as well too. And that's where we take those clients or ourselves when we're not getting better with some of the changes in the diet and the psychosocial therapies. Okay. I'm somehow not doing the slides, so if you can just go to the next one. I don't know. It's not working for me.
It's not working for me either.
Oh,
Hang on.
weird.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
Let me see. Maybe it's my
It says waiting for Patty. Patty is
Should be.
controlling my screen, so it should be working for you now. Try it. There we go.
There we go. Okay. My new computer. So we're going to talk a little bit about depleted brain chemicals, driving cravings and addiction. Oh. Neurotransmitters. So here is a picture of a lovely neurotransmitter, and they are in our brain, and they are in our gut, and they are in our nervous system. And they are chemical connections. And you can see they're moving in between right there to the receiving and the sending cell. And we're going to talk about the 4 main neurotransmitters active in the brain, the gut, and the nervous system. So serotonin is our inner sunshine, right? It's our mellow flow. It's our neurotransmitter that helps us just have that happy feeling. It also helps us deal with anxiety. It also helps us sleep. It also helps, sugar, not just alcohol, cocaine. Yes. I'll bring that up, Christina. It's hard for me to read and keep my flow going, but thanks for that. Wait, oh, no. Did I move that?
It was
Okay.
me. I tried to open the chat. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So the inner sunshine, but the other thing with serotonin I mention as well too is that it's obsessive compulsive disorder too. There's a lot of things that are based in this one, and there's a lot of things that we go to raise this: alcohol, sugar, pizza, weed, marijuana. So most of these neurotransmitters are affected by by either sugar, alcohol. The next group that we're going into is the catecholamines. So this is where this is our energy, focus, and enthusiasm neurotransmitter molecule. And this is when we're low in this neurotransmitter group. So this is adrenaline, norepinephrine, and dopamine. So when we're low, there's more of like a lack of energy, kind of an apathy, and we're driven to more energy stimulants. This is our feel alive chemical. GABA is our next one, and we're not going into this in depth. This is just a basic overview. GABA is our natural tranquilizer neurotransmitter. So when we have enough of that, we feel calm. We can deal with things. When we're low in that, we can feel overwhelmed. A lot of GABA is also feeling stress in our body. We can feel just that stressed state where everything's tight and tense. That's GABA. That's low GABA. And again, the GABA, people are drawn to alcohol. They're drawn to a lot of the benzos, weed, sugar. You'll find sugar, weed, alcohol affects most all of these neurotransmitters. Endorphins, our last one that we're going to talk a little bit about, that's our natural love molecule. It's our natural pain reducing molecule. It's our pain, it's pleasure, it's bliss. When we're low in our natural endorphins, we feel very sensitive to the world. And even if you're a sensitive person or a shyer person, you just feel like you can't take it. There's so much coming in. That can also be low endorphins. Grief, loneliness, a lot of the process addictions are in this too: shopping, porn, skiing off ledges. I worked with a client once who was a like extreme skier, and he was sober from alcohol and crack actually were his drugs of choice, but his behavior was where he got his opiate lifts from. So he would go up in that, he'd ski and jump off these cliffs, and then he would be completely sensitive to the world because his endorphin molecules were going up and down with his behavior. So we want to take a look at that too, because that's part of it as well too with our endorphins. And they're such a beautiful molecule. We need them balanced, and they need a lot of protein, folks. They all do, but particularly the endorphins. Okay, let me get to the next one. Oh, I don't know what. Oh, there we go. So we're going to talk a little bit about brain chemistry repair with nutrition. This is what we're talking about here. How do we get those beautiful neurotransmitters, those chemicals, brain chemicals that need to be fed? Well, we do it through nutrition, food, amino acid therapy. We're not going to go into aminos tonight very much, but we're going to talk a little bit about it. And the Academy for Mental Health, for Addiction and Mental Health Nutrition does a training in that. If you're interested, we'll connect you to that. And I am a certified coach from the Academy that Christina Veselak runs. And there's probably a few coaches on here already. So we are trained in amino acid therapy and food therapy for mental health and addiction. So thank you, Academy. So what feeds neurotransmitters? Food, protein, good healthy fats, complex carbs, mostly vegetables. And this is why we're very excited about this challenge. So let's just do a little overview of some aminos. Serotonin, our inner sunshine, 5-HTP and L-tryptophan both work with that. And again, I'm going to talk about these, but I do want to have a little precaution out there to make sure that if you're thinking of taking some of these aminos on your own, you can look at Julia Ross's book. Please get on the Academy website or find a coach to work with, because we're trained in helping people that might be on an SSRI to know what they need to do. So we just don't want to go out and say, yeah, you can just take all this. This is what we're also trained in, and we want to make sure people are safe. So 5-HTP and tryptophan are both amino acids that work on our serotonin. The catecholamine, our natural energy, our dopamine, it's L-tyrosine, which is really pretty wonderful. And then L-phenylalanine is also an amino that can be used that's a little milder. GABA is our natural calmer. So GABA itself is a neurotransmitter, but it's also an amino. L-theanine, and then there's a whole good variety of GABA formulas. My husband's on GABA relaxer right now, and so are both of my children. But they're also eating good protein. Endorphins, our natural love molecule, is DLPA, and also D-phenylalanine. And I happen to have Endorphagen right here, which is actually a DPA, just DPA by itself, and that works quite a bit on pain and grief. And I have to say that I used that quite a bit when I was dealing with the loss of my sister and then my nephew. I had a lot of loss in the last few years. So the aminos really did help me along with my food and my therapy. I would also say that the endorphins also are helped as well with total amino solution as well. And then blood sugar. So one of the aminos that work great with blood sugar is, which is our natural stabilizer, and that's where our food comes in so wonderfully, is L-glutamine. And then of course we need the vitamin mineral cofactors as well. Those can come in through supplements, and they're also coming in through our vegetables and our fruits, and our protein and fats. So feed your brain, balance your life. I was trying to find a picture of a brain on here, but this is kind of an overview of a brain. So as we feed our brain, and most of us on this call tonight are here to look at how can we, take care of our brains better, or help our clients or our children or our partners look at how important this is, because it's so wonderful when you do. And I wanted to share that I was with a client earlier today, and she's in the midst of drinking, and she's on benzos to sleep. So she's in a really, really rough spot. And for those of you who might be in that rough spot right now, with maybe thinking about putting down something, or feeling overwhelmed with so many things that you need to do, we're here to support you. And there is help. And this is part of why we are doing this. We are doing this to help save lives, so that you can actually find that balance in your life again. And it's about self-care as well too. So please do the best that you can and get the support that you need. You are so loved, and you are so worth it. So I think that's it for me. Okay, well, I'm going to pass the next part on to Amy here, who's going to share a little bit about the emotional and some more things about cravings and urges. And I am going to participate as a listener now. So I'm going to mute myself.
So, yeah, that was wonderful, Patty. Thank you. I'm always reminded of like how important the food is and actually making the neurotransmitters, and you can actually feel it when you've been away from it for a little bit, and then you start to get back into it. It's just, you realize how good you can actually feel when you eat well and eat frequently. So yeah, thank you for that. So I'm going to take us through a little description of cravings and urges and what are they really. So in my training, I've learned that there's a couple of different types of cravings, and this was my experience as well personally. So we have the emotional cravings that we have. This is the conscious or subconscious beliefs that we hold that the substance or the behavior is beneficial in some way. So if we think of like emotional attachment, for example, we believe we actually need the thing to have a good time. Like Thanksgiving's coming up. Oh, we have to have the eggnog spiked with rum in order for it to be Thanksgiving. Or it's football season. We have to tailgate. If we're going to be doing chicken wings, we have to have the ale. Or baby showers now, there's all kinds of punches. And we have this like emotional connection to this stuff. And, you know, with alcohol particularly, it is the only drug on the planet that we have to justify not taking. I mean, just let that sink in for a minute. You know, if somebody, it's always like, why aren't you drinking? It's just when we learn what alcohol does to us, it's like, well, why would I drink? But, you know, I was there and I was very emotionally attached to alcohol. I thought I needed it to have a good round of golf, to loosen up so that I could actually play well, you know, things like that. And then, you know, on the flip side of the emotional attachment is the neurological craving. Cravings are put in place by our brains for a purpose. Like we have the habitual aspect to it. You know, our brains are made to conserve energy and to ensure our survival. So if you think about like conserving energy and habits, how many people out there have actually driven in their car to work or the grocery store, got out of their car, got to their desk and said, I don't even remember like how I got here. I don't know if there were any red lights. I didn't notice a thing. That is your brain habitualizing your behavior. It's efficient. You don't need to think about how to do those things. So when we get into habit behavior, it's not your fault. We were designed this way. And then in terms of ensuring our survival, it's the reason why we have physiological triggers that cause us to have certain behaviors like eating, like having sex, and procreating. You know, these are things that we have, you know, back in caveman days, when you'd find a raspberry bush, your brain would get hit of dopamine, a neurotransmitter. It's a learning molecule and says, oh, good, food, you need that. Remember that. Do that again. Do that again. And eventually you get trained to do these certain things. So that's kind of the high level overview of what, you know, why we actually have cravings to begin with. Tactics for managing cravings. This is what it's all about. So the tactics come down to two categories in my training: switches and seeds. So you can think of a switch like a light switch, right? You do the thing, you flip the switch, and it provides an instant change of state. The lights go on, the lights go off. So these tactics provide instant relief for us. The seeds are tactics that are more cultivated and nurtured over time, and they tend to have a cumulative beneficial effect. So if you think of like planting tomatoes from scratch, you plant the seed, you have to take care of the seedling. You're doing it every day. It seems like nothing is happening, but you're consistent with it and you apply the methods, and before you know it, you have sprouts. And then the next thing you know, 6 months or 3 months later, you've got beautiful tomatoes that are abundant. And it didn't really seem like that much work along the way because you were doing it every day, little by little. And then the bounty is what's produced by those tactics. And then next thing, I'm just going to move my picture out of the way here. Hope we stay. Switches make us feel better in the moment. Things that I like: taking a bath or a shower, petting the dog or the cat, calling a friend, that connectivity, changing your surroundings. This is a big one for me. And all it took was literally like opening the front door and stepping out on the patio just for a couple of minutes and coming back inside. And it would literally change my mental state. I think it was maybe the sunshine or the fresh air. Getting some protein and eating. That's a huge one that can, make you feel better immediately, get that blood sugar stabilized. If I was feeling frustrated, like going to the driving range and hitting the hell out of a golf ball, or going to the batting cages, doing a punching bag, sometimes like singing to our favorite songs, like expressing ourselves, just makes us feel better in the moment. And then the seeds, there's plenty of them here. There's meditation, and it doesn't mean that you have to get like all Zen and sit on a pillow in the lotus position with candles and whatnot for 30 minutes at a time. You can take 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes and build up every day. Just take some time to notice your breath, notice your surroundings. Just keep coming back to your breath. And cumulatively, you'll notice if you do this for even maybe a week or 10 days, and then you don't do it, you'll know. Just do an experiment. See if you feel differently when you don't do it. There is a cumulative effect, and it's profound. So another good one is prayer, getting into an exercise routine. And that doesn't necessarily mean like picking up and going to the gym and doing whatever the trainer says. That could be something as simple as meeting a friend every morning to go for a 15-minute walk. Just the process of getting into a routine. Yoga is fantastic. Journaling, volunteering, and being around others and helping, because when we're focused on others and giving and helping, it's very difficult to be focused on the, oh, woe is me, I really want to drink, et cetera, et cetera. Food prepping is something that will make us, have a benefit in the long term. Just getting ready, when I did it consistently, and I'll be honest, I don't always do it consistently, but Sundays and Wednesdays were my day to do it. And because I did it, I was consistently having, my go-to proteins ready for me. And that habit in itself helped me maintain, and I think I'd mentioned it Monday or Tuesday, that, the light bulb went off when I was going to Weight Watchers that time, and I was eating all my proteins on a regular basis. It's like, well, that's why it stuck. That's why it became easy for me. So those are just some of the few things. The last one I have here is liminal thinking and thought work. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the term liminal thinking, it is a foundational piece of the training that I received as a This Naked Mind alcohol freedom coach. And it's really just the process of becoming aware of what you're thinking or what your belief is, around the substance or the behavior. And then figuring out, like, why do you believe that? Like, why do I think that Thanksgiving is not Thanksgiving unless there's amaretto in the eggnog? Like, where did that come from? You know, so digging into thoughts like that, and then, you know, comparing that thought against reality. Is it necessary really for Thanksgiving to be Thanksgiving if my amaretto has like cinnamon in it? You know, maybe that will suffice. And what you do is you systematically uncover your thoughts and your beliefs that are not serving you, and you replace them with a thought or a belief that's as believable as the original belief, but serves you much better. So
Mm.
that's what liminal thinking is. And it's a practice, and you can use it on anything. You don't have to use it on alcohol. You can use it on food, junk food, sugar, relationships, work-related things, arguments with your boss, whatever, you know, things like that. All right, so I'm trying to get the slide to go down again, and it's not moving. I don't know why this is today all of a sudden that it's not.
I don't know, but we'll have to take care of that tomorrow. I want to see if I can do it.
Yeah, could you?
Yeah, and just at a timeline, we have 20 minutes just about, so
Okay.
let's see here.
Maybe if I get out of full screen mode. It's not even letting me get out of full screen mode. Let me see what else I can do here for a minute.
Hmm.
Slide control.
Well, everybody can just keep breathing during our
Thank you, Patty, while we figure out.
slide transition. Here we go. Let's just go to that. There we go. There you go.
I'm going to go to this one here
All right,
because this is
perfect.
what I really want to take us through.
Okay.
So today in your handout, I'll put the link in the chat, or we'll get it in the Facebook group. I want to introduce you to this urge surfing tactic, and it's really a mindfulness tactic, and research shows that mindfulness has a profound effect on managing cravings and reducing addictive behaviors. And mindfulness is not like stopping all of your thoughts. It is just simply non-judgmental view and observation of what is. So you're not trying to control anything. You're just simply curious about the fact that you're a human being having the human experience of having a craving, and you see what it feels like in your body. And you sit with the discomfort, because cravings eventually pass. And, you know, you can imagine them like building, like the discomfort builds like a wave. And that's why they call it urge surfing, because you're going to let it build and you're going to let it build. And then eventually it subsides. It's natural. It's energy. That's the way cravings move. And the interesting thing is, with neuroplasticity, you know, with our neurotransmitters, we can retrain our brains and build new neural pathways that teach us that we can survive without engaging with the behavior or the substance. So the urge surfing technique that you'll get in the handout is credited to researcher Sarah Bowen. So if people are interested, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to take us through a little just a little urge surf here. So.
And Amy, while you're doing that, I'd like to share. So Amy shared this gal's, Sarah's, it's like an 8-minute video, and Amy's actually going to take us through it right now. But I wanted to share that I did that with my husband. And so my husband's been dealing with smoking. And so it was really non-threatening, you know, because I hadn't listened to it. So I was like, hey, do you want to just listen to this thing that this gal that I'm working with on this feeding recovery challenge is doing? And so I just happened to sit down with him and listen to it. And it was really powerful because it was non-threatening to him, because I'm always like, well, you know, it's been making me nutty to see him smoking, you know. And anyway, but it sat with him. He really was able to sit with his smoking and look at it in another way too. So that was encouraging. And I think Amy's going to take us through it right now. So
Yeah, that's
thank you. Mhm.
that's great, Patty. I'm glad that
Yeah.
you shared that. And it really is
Yeah.
just a practice that allows us to relate differently to the experience of having a craving or an
Mhm.
urge to engage in a reactive behavior, because,
Mhm.
or instead of acting on autopilot like we normally would.
Mm,
And I'll just say that
r-
as part of this exercise right now, what we're going to do is we're going to imagine ourselves actually having a craving. So if there's anybody that thinks they might be triggered by, having that visualization of a craving, I'll just ask you to, lower your volume and, give us a few minutes. And when we finish this, we'll be going right into the Q&A. And obviously, if you're driving, don't follow along
mhm.
here with
Mhm.
this. And then the other cautionary thing that I have to say is if there's anybody out there, or friends or family members that you're going to share this with, if they are physically addicted to a substance, it's very important for them to be working with their medical practitioner before they attempt to stop doing the
Mm,
behavior. So, we're going to be
mhm.
visualizing, dealing with the cravings and not doing the, not engaging in the behavior. But I just wanted to say that. So
Mhm.
if everybody could just,
Or a recovery coach.
yeah, so, and the other thing is that just a tip as you do this exercise, when you're doing it in the handout, if you're a person who has trouble identifying sensations in your body, I find it helpful, and you can do this now as an experiment, just slip off your socks and shoes and feel your feet on the floor and just feel what that feels like under you. You can also hold a hot beverage, a hot cup of tea, and feel what the feeling feels like. You can feel, I have what's a worry stone here. It's really kind of a beach stone that's nice and smooth. Just the feeling, that tactile connection helps prompt your brain to recognize that you're actually feeling something. So that's what I have to say about that. So let's just sit and get ready. I'm going to take a deep breath in, out, that's comfortable for you. And just kind of let it all just exhale. Just take breath in, exhale. You can shut your eyes if you like. You can keep them open. I kind of like to have a soft gaze, almost like you're quasi looking through your eyelids. Just notice your breath. And as you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're free of distractions, no television in the background, no music playing. You want to be able to notice the intensity of what you're feeling. So imagine that you're craving your thing, your sugar, your alcohol, your pot, whatever the thing is. How does that feel in your body? Are you noticing any physical discomfort? You don't have to try to change it or get rid of it. Just notice what you notice. Is there any emotional discomfort? Are there any feelings of sadness, frustration, anxiety? What thoughts are running through your head? Is there any incessant mental chatter as you start to notice what's going on? And as you think about the craving, notice the intensity of it. How strong is it? If it's increasing, you can just allow it to build. Think of that visual of the wave like we showed on the slide. It's just building, and it's okay. The worst thing that's going to happen by allowing the feeling to build is you're actually going to feel your feelings. And that's okay. That's the point. You could acknowledge it by giving the craving a name. I used to have a couple of names for mine. One was Itchy Bitchy. and the other one was sticky icky. And I'd feel the craving. And I'd say, oh, hello, hi again. I remember you. And I'd face it head on, because when we face things head on, and each time we face the thing, the craving, and we sit with it, we're teaching our brains that it's okay. And that itchy bitchy or that sticky icky starts to lose its power over us. And then it comes down and it subsides. And you can do this for a few cycles because your cravings may be coming fast and furious. But then you'll notice they start to subside. You'll have a longer period of time before that wave starts to come up again. And when I find myself in a state where I'm not sure if another urge is going to come, I like to end it on a positive note. So I like to do a little visualization. So on a day like today, I'll pretend that I'm outside in nature, I'm in the woods. I can hear a babbling brook in the background. I can hear the rhythm, my feet crunching on the leaves as I'm going for the hike. I might hear some birds in the trees. And as I get to the top of the path, there's a gorgeous view of the expansive mountains, and I can see everything. Fall colors are out. There's nobody around. The sky is blue, blue, blue. The clouds are white. It's the perfect temperature. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. Just noticing what I hear, how I feel in my body, and how I want to feel in my body. I feel peace. What does peace feel like in my body? It's that clarity and that sharpness of mind where everything is crystal clear, like a pond that you can just see right to the bottom. Everything just feels so clear. And then when you've gotten to that spot where you're feeling how you want to feel, you can just gently open your eyes. Take a big stretch. And thank yourself. You're sitting with your craving and welcoming it and knowing that you have the power of choice.
Mm.
Here we are. So congratulations on teaching your brain that you will survive if you face your cravings head on. Build those neural pathways and practice it. It's a fantastic practice.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much,
so-
Amy. That was wonderful.
Excellent. Excellent. Does anybody want to share if they had any particular feelings, more relaxed, agitated? It can be kind of unnerving to be in a group of people doing a mindfulness exercise. So I'd love to hear some feedback.
Well, I'll share mine first, and then anyone else that would like to share. So in the very beginning, of course, mine was wine. I was deciding whether I was, because I've been sober 17 years plus years, but I was like, ooh, should I choose wine or weed or sugar, right? But I chose wine. And at first, when you were taking us through that, I felt nauseous. It was like I felt nauseous because I would feel nauseous a lot after drinking, and then this wave of sadness, like I got teary. I was just like, wow. But it wasn't a it was that endorphin, that like just that sensitive sadness. And then as we kept going, I watched it, and it shifted, and I moved into peace because I'm very happy not to be picking up substances. My life is divine. I still feel sadness because that happens with life, but most of it's divine. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
But it was
thanks for
interesting to feel
sharing.
that nausea.
Yeah.
Anybody
Thank you
else?
for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Diane.
Hey, Diane.
Hi. I really related to or liked the idea of naming it
Mm,
something almost like it's because sometimes when I have these cravings, I automatically think I have no control over it. Like I can't fight it, I can't beat it, and it's just too hard. And I like the idea of get, naming it, almost giving it less power.
mm,
That's what I got out of that when she said, she calls it bitchy, sticky, or whatever. It was to me, I was like taking the power of it away or the
mm,
mystery of it away. That it's something that I can't control. It comes over me and it takes over my brain. And so I'm gonna use that exercise definitely.
mm,
You
Awesome.
know, yeah, instead of like fighting things and white knuckling it,
mm,
just acknowledge it and take its power away and move on.
mhm,
Thank
Love
you
it.
for sharing that, Amy.
mm.
Yeah. Thanks for your feedback, Diane. That's awesome. All right. Yeah, so if nobody else wants to share a particular experience, if anybody had any questions about the content tonight.
Oh,
Oh, hi,
Jeff
Jeff.
does. Hey,
Great,
Jeff.
thanks.
Hey there. Thank you, Amy. This was really nice. I can follow up with what Diane was saying. I had a similar experience of like the naming it being really helpful. And for me, it really helped me to separate this craving from me, from my
Mm,
identity. And it kind of gave me just a little bit of a nuance of a way to reframe my own self-talk. And
mm,
Amy, I really liked your suggestion of kind of having a little conversation with it. Oh, there you are again.
mhm,
And yeah, so thank you. That
mm,
was very helpful for me.
mm,
So glad to hear it, Jeff.
mm. Thanks, Jeff. Mm.
I see Haley's comment. Great. Thanks, Haley.
Mm.
So cool. All right, well, we can
Okay.
respond to questions and comments in the group as well if there's no comments this evening. And
Mhm.
I was a good girl. I filled out my food mood craving study again, and I posted a couple of pictures today of things that I ate, and I was disappointed to learn that my arugula went bad. So I
Mm.
found myself with no leafy greens, which was kind of a bummer, but so frozen Brussels sprouts worked. Just
Yeah,
always good to have things in the freezer
yeah.
as a tip. And yeah, definitely post in the group what your takeaways are, how you're doing, what you're struggling
Mhm,
with. We want to know
mhm, mhm,
what's helpful in these sessions
mhm,
and what you might need more of. And I know too
mhm.
that Mark has posted the link to what we're calling I always get the name messed up, a one pager,
It's
which
a one
I'm
pager.
fascinated by. I really need to delve into that, because if you get the link and I think you just accept or download it, it's got basically all of the content that we're sharing
Mhm,
all in one spot. So instead of having to go into the Facebook group and navigate around to all of the different things, you just click the link, select the
mhm,
day, and everything's all in one spot. So
mhm.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think I will pop a link in the chat if I'm technically able to do that, because I have the link to a recipe today that Patty had shared
Oh,
with
yeah.
us, and
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to talk about it a little bit, Patty, but
I
I will
don't.
just,
I don't.
okay. You know, that's
If
fine.
you actually want to know, I did a video on Facebook this morning or this afternoon. I can't remember. So it's on there. It's basically a protein salad. I'm in such a different zone right now that I don't want to talk about a recipe.
We don't
There it
want
is
to ruin
right
the
there.
bliss. We don't want to
Don't
ruin
ruin,
that
yeah.
bliss, right?
But food prep is good, and we can talk more about that tomorrow. But do connect in with the group. you know, the Facebook group, that is where we can talk to each other and put videos and let, you know, put your food stuff up there too. Yeah, there's a lot to consider, but I also want to make sure that all of you know that it's one day at a time. There are a lot of really great recovery phrases, and one day at a time is real. Easy does it. Those are some good ones. First things first. So first things first, please feed your brain. So you're not crashing, and then you can go through this urge surfing a lot better. So
Well, just say there is one question, and this would be a question from Mark. It's for the one pager. Mary asks, if we fill in our comments, are they public?
Yeah, that's why I just dived on then, just to answer that question actually. So if I can quickly share my screen, I'll give you the answer to that question, Mary. All right, if I can, yeah, there we go. So let me just show you. So here is yeah, so here is day 2's. So this is yesterday's. So that would have been emailed out to everybody earlier on. I'll pop the link for this into the chat momentarily as well. So when you click the URL, you click the link. This is what you would come through to. Okay, and just move that away. Yeah. So the answer to your question, Mary, is this: there are 2 places you can save this. The first, most obvious place in the top right-hand corner there is save and share. Now, if you click the save and share there, then actually that will share the that'll share that back with us. However, and therefore, any comments that you put in or anything that you fill in, then we would get to see that. However, and that's not there. That's just kind of part of the tool that's there. We've not kind of put that there. But the other thing you can do is if you scroll right down to the bottom, there's a little button in the very bottom bar there that says save to account. So if you click that, then what that will do, I'll actually click it because that's the box it brings up, and it invites you there to enter your email. And if you pop your email in there, what it will do is it will just save your content to your own account, which you can then go back and log into. What you want to do there is just uncheck that box there where it says share my data with the owner of this one pager. So if you just check that box, then that data, whatever you fill in is entirely yours. Nobody else can get at it. It's then really, really easy just to re-log back in. You just go to onepager.io, log in, and it literally brings this box up. Again, you type in your email and it will let you back in.
nice.
And if that answers the question there, Mary, what we'll do each day, you'll get a link at the bottom to any previous days kind of one pagers. Also, if you want to share this challenge with people, this link here links people back and brings them back into the first page on the challenge on the first day, and we'll give that to people. But and the only other thing, very quickly, obviously the replay video is at the top here. So each day you'll get the replay video. The flip book, which actually Amy and Patty took you through on the first day, the flip book is there every day. So you can click in there and you can go right back through the flip book as well. And then essentially what we've delivered to you during the sessions, it's in boxes 1, 2, and 3. So here's a summary of the key takeaways from the day. In number 2, it's how we're going to implement it. So we kind of put in some suggested homework items there. But beneath each of those, you can then fill in your own takeaways. You can click a little box and you can type in there your own takeaways. And the same in terms of how you're going to implement. You can put your own implementations in there. There's another box next to that for any resources that you've found. Again, you can click and add your own resource in there. And all of the handouts for each day you'll find there in today's tools.
Thank you.
From today,
Okay.
for example, Patty's mentioned an MP4, so an audio clip that she's done for you. So that's in there as well. The Earth surfing tool will be in there as well. So yeah, there we go. Have fun with it. Lots you can do. You can kind of put your menus in there, and some sections you can customize and do your own thing. But yeah, play with it. Have fun. Tell us what you get up to with it, so that we've got some other ways other people, share with other people how they use it.
Thank you so much, Mark. That was very helpful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mark.
Oh, and sorry, yes, the presentation slides are there. Sorry, Mary's just asked another question. So yes, the slides are in there as well. Awesome.
All right. Well, everybody, I think it's time to go eat.
To go eat.
For me in Mountain Time, it's 6 o'clock, so I'm ready to go have my dinner. So thank you so much for everyone participating. Amy, thank you so much for that wonderful guide through urge surfing. Very, very helpful. And tomorrow we're going to talk about real food and why it matters. So looking at labels and understanding how to read labels, and we'll link you up with some really fantastic websites too. So again, thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. Please feed yourself. That's the main purpose of this program here, and blessings to you all, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
you.
Bye.
Bye.